Hey friends, welcome to Hayes' Guitar Studio. Today we are doing a mindful guitar lesson, a warm-up for our fretting hand. For most of us, that's our left hand. In these mindful guitar lessons, we practice slow, simple exercises to hone our approach to playing guitar. In doing these simple practices, we can find ways to assess our playing habits and to play with less tension and more flow. Before we play guitar, let's take a moment to check in with ourselves. A nice way to do that is to stand up. So I'm going to stand up out of my seat, adjust my camera. So I'm going to stand up, I'm going to shift my weight around between my feet, maybe do some light circles on my feet. Feel yourself balancing. Good time to pay attention to your breathing, maybe taking a little bit of the room. Let those shoulders open up a little bit. Yeah, so we want to feel that balancing, and we want to feel it through our whole body. Try not to lock your joints, try not to lock your knees if that's something you like to do, or your hips. And just feel the possibility of movement through your feet, up through your legs, through your whole body. If you want to stay standing for this lesson, that's totally cool. I'm going to sit down. Most of us practice sitting down. It's good to practice both ways and to try things out. So even as we sit back down, we still want to find that potential for movement. Maybe doing some light circles on your seat. Yeah, feeling the weight shifting. Feeling some balancing, feeling some movement. Even as we sit, we want to keep feeling movement, keep balancing on our seat. Okay, let's get our guitars ready. I have my guitar here. I like to use a strap. I like to keep mine a little bit higher than some people. Gives you a nice wrist angle over here, so we're not doing too much of this. You have to find what works for you. Strap isn't great for everybody. So as we bring our guitars in, still finding some movement here. Shifting our weight around, paying attention to our breathing. Feeling some movement through the joints. Now today is a fretting hand exercise, so let's hold out our fretting hand. For me and most of us, that's our left hand. And turn it like so. Just find some nice movement. Feeling movement in your wrist, your elbow and your shoulder. And we want to keep that feeling going. Even when we stop moving, we want to feel like there's still potential for movement in our arm. So play around with that for a second and then you can relax it. So even as we relax our arm, our left arm, both arms, we want to feel that possibility for movement in the joints still. So you can come back to that during this lesson and remind yourself. Just move it around a little bit to feel what that's like. Today we're going to be doing some buzz scales. This is a technique I like to do to remind myself how little tension is needed to play guitar. I'll demonstrate first, then I'll walk you through it. Typically not a good sound we're looking for, but today, exactly what we're looking for is this sort of buzzy, not great, pleasant to listen to sound necessarily, but a really useful practice sound. Still feeling movement. So today we're going to use all 4 of our fretting fingers on the first 4 frets of the first string. It's a lot of firsts. We're going to make this work. So to do a buzz note, we want to bring our arm up into playing position, and again, feeling movement, feeling balance. Balancing in the seat, even as we bring the arm up. So I'm going to use my first finger on the first fret to start. And when we make contact right now in this practice video, let's take a moment to really feel into that string. There's a lot of information I can get from my fingertip here. Don't always pay attention to that, but let's do that today. So to do a buzz note, you want to make contact, but really lightly. So if I just make really light contact, I get sort of no sound. And if I push just a little bit harder, I get this note, but it's buzzed. We can kind of hear that buzzing. So take a moment, do this with me. You want to find this nice buzz sound. It's a little tricky to find at first, but once you get it down, it's really easy to pull out. Yeah, so there's variations on this buzz. Just play around with that buzz. Again, keeping things moving. Something I also like to do when doing this type of stuff is what I like to call arm circles. Just exaggerating some movement in the left arm so that we don't lock anything up. Once you got your first finger buzzing, go ahead and go to the second finger. I like to do it on the second fret, just keep things simple. Same thing, making contact, relaxing, moving. Nice buzz sound. Take as long as you need here. Pause the video if you need to. Let's go into our third finger. Yep. And then our fourth finger, our pinky. Ooh, there's a good buzz for you. All these variations are okay. There's no perfect buzz here. We're not too worried about that. Great. Once you have all those going, you can try them in a row. Again, this is a little tricky. Take your time. So now I'm doing all the fingers, buzzing lightly. Finding movement in my seat. Taking a second to check into my breathing. Pay attention to the room. Keep these things going. This is mindful guitar practice. It's a really nice warm-up before we get into practicing hard stuff or learning new songs or all these exciting things that we do. This is a nice moment to check in with yourself. So I'm going to go up. And back down. Awesome. Once you have the buzz going, we can turn that buzz into a full note. So to do that, let's go back to our first finger on the first fret. Find your nice buzz. There it is. And push just a tiny bit harder. All of a sudden, it sounds full, like a normal guitar note, but I am using way less tension here than I typically do, starting from the buzz. It's a nice reminder. Same thing with each finger. Pushing just a little bit harder. Now we get a nice clear note. But again, I'm feeling a lot more movement. I'm feeling a lot less tension in my arm. It almost feels like it's floating. It's an interesting feeling. And our third finger. Yeah. Pinky. Same thing. Yeah, and once you've made that transition, you can try just going up and down the regular sort of scale, chromatic scale we have here. Still really being as light as possible with my left hand. Awesome. So those are buzz notes, buzz scales. In that case, we did a chromatic scale, just 4 notes. You could do this with any scale. I could transition to, say, a C major scale. Could buzz my notes in a C major. This works really nice for any melodies or scales or single note playing you want to do. We can also do it with chords. It's a little bit trickier. Right in the second part of this video, I want to show you an exercise I like to do with chords in a similar sort of way. So before we do this, take a moment and get back into your balancing. Feeling your weight shift around. Try not to lock things up too much. Feeling the possibility of movement. So this next part I like to call arm circles. We're going to exaggerate some movement in our left arm while we're playing, just to help us find a little bit more flow. This also works. You can combine this with buzz scales or single notes, as we sort of did, where I can hold a fret and move my arm around. That's a nice double practice there. I really like to do these with chords though, because with chords we tend to really lock our arms down because we're holding a set position. This is a great exercise to work with that. Let's start with a nice easy chord, an E minor chord. So if you don't know it, there's other videos out there to help you learn it. But 2nd fret on the 5th string and on the 4th string, both of them. It's nice to use fingers 2 and 3. Leave our first finger free in case we need to go to an E major at some point. So we'll start with an E minor. I'm going to just push down lightly, again still paying attention to the pressure I'm using, to my seat, to my balance, to my arm. I'm going to strum it just for fun. Sounds nice. Familiar sound. yeah, so as I'm holding this chord, I'm going to start to do some arm circles. They don't exactly have to be circles. It's more any movement that feels comfortable to you. The idea is just to move through the arm so that we don't lock our joints and keeping the pressure. You notice I'm able to still sound this chord even as I'm moving, letting things flow, still making the chord happen. You could play like this all the time. It's a goal for all of us, me included. Yeah, so finding some nice movement in yourself and in your arm as you do these arm circles, do these chords. Now just E minor. A really simple practice, guys. Really simple practice, but very effective. You can build this into your practice routine if you can take a moment to check in with yourself before you start playing. Go nice and slow, find some movement, find some potential to have less tension as we play guitar. If you build this into your daily practice, it will pay off. I think about this type of stuff all the time. I practice it with students. Hit subscribe down below. Come practice with me. See you soon.